part 2, Sacheen Littlefeather. So let me show you a photo of her at the Oscars when she declined Marlon Brando's award that he had won for The Godfather. And I'm going to go down here and read this. In the wake of her experience at the Oscars, though Littlefeather received little respect from Hollywood and the mainstream media, let alone understanding love and or generosity, even as she was cheered by Native Americans for taking a civil rights stand. False stories soon spread, claiming that she was not a real Native American and that she had rented her buckskin Oscar dress and that she was just a wannabe, opportunistically trying to ride Brando's coattail. And then it says, if Brando had something to say, actor John Wayne grew dismissively. He should have appeared that night and stated his views instead of taking some little unknown girl and dressing her up in an Indian outfit. Brando himself expressed some misgivings a few months later about the position he'd put Littlefeather in. It was distressed that people should have booed and whistled and stomped, even though perhaps it was directed at myself, he told Dick Cavett. They should have at least had the courtesy to listen to her. Facing what she saw as an all-out campaign to discredit and blacklist her, Littlefeather soon abandoned any ambitions she had in an acting career and dropped almost entirely out of the public eye. Still, her Oscar notoriety never fully faded. Just last April, in an appearance on The Tonight Show, comedian Dennis Miller cracked about then Senate candidates Elizabeth Warner, who'd claimed some Cherokee ancestry. She's about as much Indian as that stripper chick Brando. This is the kind of disrespect they placed upon this woman. That stripper chick Brando set to pick up his Oscar for The Godfather. This is the type of stuff that any type of supremacist will try to do to try to discredit the spokespeople or the position people take against certain ill effects in society. And this is the type of thing they do. And I'm going to keep on reading. For 40 years, Littlefeather has heard comments like this, and she's rarely had the opportunity to tell her side of things. But in the new issue of Entertainment Weekly on Stands Now, we caught up with her at her home in San Francisco Bay area to talk about her brush with Brando and the impact that 1 minute on the Oscar stage in front of 85 million people had on the rest of her life. A lot of the stories I've read about myself, I don't even recognize who they're writing about, says Littlefeather, who was born Maria Cruz to a white mother and an Apache and oh, my eyes are going bad. Yaqui Indian father. I say I am half Indian and half savage, she jokes. Is just made up stuff. And when you don't have any way of combating that, it's difficult to set the record straight. and quickly to laugh despite an ongoing battle with breast cancer. Littlefeather dismissed Miller's recent crack about her as just the latest in a long string of insults she had endured. Boy, he is the unfortunate or unfunniest guy I've ever heard, she said. It goes back to the time of the Romans. If you don't like the message, you kill the messenger. Which is exactly what Sacheen Littlefeather was. She was the messenger for Marlon Brando. Meanwhile, Marlon Brando had went to certain certain Native American actors who had got him in touch with Sacheen Littlefeather. Okay, let's see. But while she may have paid the price for being the messenger for Brando's Oscar protest, Littlefeather has moved on. For the past 4 decades, she has worked to provide health care, education, advocacy in the Native American community, ministered to AIDS patients with Mother Teresa in the 1980s, and led in a prayer circle devoted to the first Native American Catholic saint, Kaiten Takawitha. She betrays no regrets about anything. I promised myself a long time ago that I would lead an interesting life, she said, and that's what I've done. Marlon Brando or no Marlon Brando, I am an elder now, coming to the end of my road. Now I am in a place of being a healer, if you will, on my own journey. So anyways, that's part of Sacheen Littlefeather's story. And she was really ridiculed and went through a lot of hell behind declining that Oscar for Marlon Brando. So Will Smith's wife, Jada Smith, Pinkett Smith, this is not the first time that these type of things have taken place in Hollywood and these award ceremonies, and it will not be the last. And it I would not be surprised if there was extreme black backlash against Jada Pinkett Smith behind this decline or boycott of the Oscars, because they do not like bad publicity, even though they know that a lot of this racism that is taking place is really out in the faces of the American public. They really don't care. So anyways, I thought that was an interesting story. You can go check it out. Take care.